route. So route table. So IGW, Internet Gateway. All these are Internet Gateway. Let me see. Internet Gateway. Okay. 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 So on our VPC, we have the Internet Gateway. So anybody that wants to come into, will have to go through the route table with the help of the router, and then get into the subnets, and then possibly get into our simple. Okay, do we use EC2 instance now or S3? Okay, let me either S3 or EC2. Let me just simple bucket. Okay, but this is just a simple illustration. Let me see. So what a God, what a lover, what a father. All right, so we have a user that wants to go through the internet gateway who will eventually get access to the, what is it called? This guy here is going to get access to the route table. You understand? So let's. So ideally it goes from here, it goes to the route table, from the route table, it goes to the subnet, from the subnet. So of course, we've explained all those things, the concept, the way it works, you understand? So if we want to set up something like this, something very, very simple, okay? This is just a crash course, okay, so that it can stick, okay? Some of the things we did in the last class. So well, how to quickly set up something like this. Again, I told you all you need to do is just to use your, so in this case, if we want to set up this architecture, right? Sorry, if we want to set up this architecture, so the first thing that comes to your mind is the VPC. You understand? So we will not worry about the region because we can always specify it there. So in this place is just one AZ. Okay, so that's why you see I didn't put anything here. It's just one AZ. Okay, and one public subnet, one availability zone. So in this case, we're going to first of all create the VPC. You understand? And to create a simple VPC, you just come here and say AWS CloudFormation, and you put VPC and you hit enter. You understand? You should see something like this. I told you about how to read this. Okay, and you know that EC2 in this context, we're using it with the we're using the creating the VPC for EC2. In most cases, it could be that way. It mustn't be for EC2. Okay, but that's what the documentation gives us. We can always just copy it. Okay, so let's wait a little bit. I hope this loads very fast. So, but let's wait and see. Okay. Okay, it's coming. Okay, cool. So to create a simple VPC, I told you from this documentation, it's very simple. to work with this documentation. I told you I've explained all this in the last class. Okay, so whenever you get to this place, you want to see how to use this straightforward. Just click on examples here. It's going to take you to the example section. We are not working with JSON. We're working with YAML file. So this is what we're going to have. You see that? Very, very simple. See that? Just very, very simple. So we can click here. Okay. And let's use this file to do everything we want to do. So normally, what we normally do in our file, I was the one that named it writing cf.yml. You can call it any name of your choice, any name of your choice, but .yml. Okay. So the next thing we do is we put the AWS template version. So if I come here and say AWS template, hold on. It's not helping me anymore. Let's see. Okay, templates formation version. So let's see. One way I can get this very simple is to if you come here, you can just say AWS CloudFormation and just come here and say templates. You understand? Either templates version or templates, whichever one. Either this reference or this. Let's just go with this. Let me show you guys this ones so you can see all these things. Hopefully it displays properly. Oh, it's like it's loading. Oh, they're not loading properly. I wanted the images to open, but it's not showing properly. Okay, good. So once this opens, right, there are a lot of things we can do here. Okay, I just needed it to open, but it's not showing me what I want. So you can just come here and say format version. Let's see. So resources, parameters, outputs, mappings, metadata. So these are the headings. Okay. Every normal Terraform file has these heading sections. You understand? So you will now decide which one you want to use. Okay. So this is the version. So you can just come here and just copy this. You see that? And that can be the first thing that you have here. Okay. So the next thing you can do is description. It's combining this with what is it called? Kubernetes, because I have Kubernetes in the same file. So it's giving me Kubernetes suggestions. So description. So did you see next topic here, description? So if you click on it, it will come here to give you a description. You understand? So it gives you more information about the template. So in this case, there's no, you can just come here and just, you can remove this thing if you want to, it's not compulsory. Building on VPC. That's what. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is to work with resources. Okay, so which is what we have copied already. Sorry, we've copied it already from here. So we'll just come here, get this. This is the VPC. So we'll come here, copy this, and then paste it here. All right. So as you all can see, let's check this carefully. Let me be sure I didn't copy the wrong thing. We don't even need this extra block here. You don't need this extra block here. This is IPv6. So you need to be very careful when you are copying some things. You understand? So I don't think we need this. So I'll highlight this. Okay, let's just remove it. Okay, so all right. So the next thing we want to do, following the architecture we have here, we've gotten the VPC, right? So what do you think the next likely thing we want to do will be? Anybody? Anybody?
So what do you say? I didn't get the question, sir.
I want to know what do you think will be the next one to come up? Because the order matters a lot. The order matters a lot.
Subnet, sir.
You say?
Once we have subnet, then we will have to create the route table.
Okay. So let's get this guy out of the way. So after the VPC, the next thing we need to have is, it can be anything, but let's just create the subnet next. Okay. It can be anything, but this is what we want to do. You understand? This can have anything. This can be EMV environment, and this can be development environment. Development. All right, good. So we might not necessarily need this enable DNS support and host names. We don't need it because we're not going to log into it. You understand? So I can choose to keep it very, very simple. You understand? This is me trying to enable. I can do something like this, and it works very, very fine. You understand? So you should learn to read the documentation so that you know how to put it by yourself. You understand? So I'll just leave it my VPC there. So if I want to work with what is it called? And again, you know, this line 5 can have any name. You know that by now. All right, so let's move on. And the next thing we want to do is subnet. So if we come here and let me see. This is the VPC. See also okay, so I can just quickly just come here and say AWS VPC, AWS Cloud Formation Subnets. Okay, click on this. Let's wait a little bit. So after we are able to create the subnet, the next thing we'll move on to do is to ask, we might create a route table, or we can choose to create yes, we'll create a route table. You understand? After we create the route table, we associate the route table with the subnet. Do you understand? Okay, so I'm just going to come here and copy this. So just click on examples when you just get to this, and we are choosing the YAML format. Okay, this is how to create a subnet. Do you understand? So we'll just click here to create the subnet. So come here and so it's still a resource under this line. In case yours doesn't have these lines you see here, you have to install there's an extension called Indentation. I think I don't know what I call it. Okay, mine is called Indent Rainbow. Indent Rainbow. Okay, Indent Rainbow and Indent One Space. So that's what is responsible for these things you're seeing here. You understand? In case yours doesn't have it. Okay. All right. Good. So let's come here and paste the next one. So if you watch here, we come here, we want this to be on the same level with this. You see that? This is exactly what we want to do. Okay. All right. So don't worry about this scribble line. Okay. As long as the name still remains my VPC, we are referencing the VPC. So what does this line 16 mean? This line 16 simply means that this subnet is existing inside the VPC. And what's the name of the VPC? My VPC. So that's why we use exclamation reference my VPC. You understand? So we're still using the same thing. We can come here and then put 0.1 here. You understand? So if we want to use US East 1A, it's our choice. However, we want to. You understand? But maybe I'll just keep everything very simple so that you can use the default VPC. Do you understand? So I don't want you to maybe do any confusing thing. I'll just be consistent. I'll come here and say EMV, say development. Okay. So I think we're good to go.
Hello, sir. Are you still there? Can anybody hear me? I hope it's not Mr. Frederick network. Oh, I guess as much.
So sorry, friends. So sorry, please. My network has been acting very funny. Please, pardon me. Okay, I'm sharing my screen now. I'm sharing my screen again. Okay, for the sake of those joining us, if you see my screen, um, we are setting up a simple architecture that looks like this using something we call CloudFormation. Sorry, it's not the bucket I want to delete. It's this guy I want to delete. So we want to set up simple net architecture like this using infrastructure as code. We've learned how to do this using Terraform. So we're using CloudFormation to do just that. Okay. So we've been making great progress, and this is the code file we have here. Okay. So let's see. We've created a VPC, so we want to create our subnet. And okay. So this is the subnet. By default, everything is going to be inside US East. Okay, let me see. Okay, let me specify it. So I will need to specify because the documentation requires it, although it's not compulsory. You may be wondering what am I referring to? I'm referring to the subnets. No, we did that of the subnets not so long. AWS CloudFormation subnet. So once you come here and you open this, this is what you have here. And you will see when you click on examples, you see this is subnet. Now you see this availability zone. Do you want to know, is it compulsory to put availability zone or not? We discussed this in the previous class. If you click on properties at the top here, you're going to see all the properties that comes with it. You're going to see availability zone here. Is it required? Can you see the answer here? No, it's not required. So by default, it will always deploy it in where US East 1. That's the reason why I said I wanted to remove it. Okay. So, but you have to decide where you want to put it. Okay. So maybe I'll just let it be. I will leave it the way it is. You understand? I'll put back the what is it called? Availability zone so that everybody understand what's going on. And then I'll come here and say this is development. So I can put another one. Okay. So you can come here and put another one. Okay. We can put another key. You understand? And say this time around, they should come with a key called maybe main. You understand? You can no, can come with this, and then you can put the value. You understand? And this is what we have here. So when you do this, you can literally have the same thing. So you can just call it subnet. Understand? Or public subnet, whichever one you want to call it. See that? So you can put as many tags as possible. Right. So now we've created the VPC, we've created a subnet. Let's create a route table. Okay. For this architecture, this is the route table. Okay. And which comes with a router. So if you come here and type AWS CloudFormation route table, I did this when the network was failing. So I didn't know that I was disconnected. AWS route EC2 route table. When you just do CloudFormation route table, it's going to open one of the page. Okay, just to save time again, following our architecture here. So after we do this, we're going to create this one here, which is going to be the internet gateway. Okay, so if you come here, you see AWS EC2 internet gateway. So I'll click on it so that it's opens. All right. So we're going to have both the route table, and then we're also going to have the what is it called? The internet gateway. Okay. Let's wait a little bit. Does anybody have a question? Does anybody have a question? Let me know if you have a question, please. All right. We're taking it slow and steady, slow and steady. All right. So this is a route table. I told you once you get to this page, don't stress yourself trying to read everything. You might get confused if you've not followed us from the first class. Just come here and click on examples, examples, all right? And choose the YAML. I told you there are two formats, okay? So we'll move with this, okay? So we'll click on this, okay? When I click on this, I'll come here and I'll come here, I hit enter. So I'll come under this line, you see that? And I will paste, you see that? So just to be sure that this is on the same line, I'll just come here, click here, and sorry. Okay, this is good. I think they're all on the same line now. Oh no, not here. Yes, on the same line now. Good. So 1, 2. Once you type 1, 2, put a space, every other thing aligns. Okay. Very good. So this is how it works. Okay. All right. Good. So now, but if you watch this closely, okay, let's. I think we're making great progress now. But friends, I want you to look closely, right? If you watch the way this was done, it's different from the way we did it before. Now, friends, watch this closely. Did you notice that here we say VPC ID column exclamation reference my VPC? If you watch, it's still the same thing. The only thing is that we separated it and put it this way, but we didn't put the exclamation. You see that? So it's just the same thing. Okay, so it's just copying and pasting from the documentation. All right, so EMV, we come here and put development. Okay, so so this is the, remember to update your VPC name. So we left it the way it is. That's why we're using my VPC. Okay. So the next thing I want to do is to get to the internet gateway. You understand? So to get to the internet gateway, so what do? I simply come here and paste this and then click on examples. And this is internet gateway. All right. It's very simple. See, no much properties here. So you just come here, click on this, and you hit enter. And you come on the same line with this guy and you paste. See that? So there you go. Okay. I hope this is not difficult for anybody. Okay. So now the next thing we want to do is this. Um, maybe let's try and maintain the same consistency so that nobody gets confused, right? So I will just come here and put this VPC here so that in case if you do it like this, and then you come here and put a space and say reference what exclamation reference my VPC. So you should reference your VPC. Okay, that's what the order we did every other thing here. Okay, see it here. So what this means, you create a VPC and create a subnet. This subnet is inside this VPC. That's why we put this reference here. And we create a route table, which is also referencing that VPC. And then we create an internet gateway. Do you understand? All right. So we can choose to reference it, but from the documentation, I don't think they do it that way. Normally, you might think if we put VPC ID, I reference VPC, that will not work. Why? Because the documentation has its own way. So if you come here and say, okay, let's check this documentation here. Can you see create internet gateway? Um, okay, good. See, use the AWS EC2 VPC gateway attachments. Can you see this is um resource to associate an internet gateway with a VPC. So if you click on this, it's going to open what I wanted to type before was internet gateway. You understand? So if you go to examples, you can use this if you want to. Okay, so it's the VPC gateway to attach the internet gateway to the VPC. I hope this makes sense to everybody. Okay, so please, friends, ask me question. Okay, if you have any. So I'll come here, hit enter. All right, let's see.
Let's give him the praise.
Okay, let's see. This is our route table. This is our internet gateway. This is our touch gateway. So I was expecting you to move on. Do 1, 2, paste. So so highlight this. Highlight this. Press tab. Okay, good. I noticed there are two things here. So we have my internet gateway, my VPN gateway. That's the way it works. Okay. I hope this is not confusing you. So there are two things here. You can always read it up so you can understand how it works. Attaches an internet gateway or a virtual private gateway to a VPC, enabling connectivity between the internet and the VPC. In this our example, I don't think we need both of them. It's just one of them we need. You understand? So we will just work with what we need. In this case, it's we don't need this VPN gateway. We don't need this one here. Okay, so we could just remove this one here. I hope this is making sense to everybody. Okay, please let me know if you. Okay, so you can always use a meaningful name here. Attach internet gateway. Okay, you can always rename this one on top. Okay, so I can say attach internet gateway to VPC. You can give it that name, your choice. Okay, so this is the type, this is the properties. So again, if we want to stick to the approach we use in labeling things, we come here and we put our exclamation here. So the name of our VPC is called my VPC. You understand? My VPC. All right, good. So we want to, this is the internet gateway. Remember, we want to attach the VPC to the internet gateway. So the internet is asking us for the internet gateway ID. Is it not true? So this is how we do it. We come here and just do something like this. Yeah, exclamation. So this will refer to the internet gateway. I hope this is not confusing. Okay. So this is the internet gateway. This is the attachment. Okay. To attach the internet gateway to the VPC. Okay. So you put the VPC ID, you put the internet gateway ID. So it will attach both of them together. Any question from anybody? Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're just going to save this so far and see the outcome of what we've done. So let's copy everything quickly and come to AWS. Okay, click CloudFormation. All right, see, we have Infrastructure Composer here. I'll right click it and open it in a new tab. Let's wait for a few seconds. Okay, let's reload this again. Friends, I hope you can hear me.
Yeah. Chachiwa.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, also, I think that's your voice. Go ahead.
Yeah, like this is more like you're doing that VPC and more, right? VPC and more.
Come again.
Because normally when you're creating a VPC, can you hear me? Sorry.
You say what?
can you hear me? Just hold on. You can
Okay, it doesn't.
yeah, you can continue out. Let me change my earphones.
Come again. What did you say? Let me see. AWS VPC gateway attachment. I hope this is not obsolete. Mm, let's see. Mm, let me see. Okay, I think the VPC ID and okay, this comes in the same line. Okay, cool. Okay. Resource definition is malformed. Internet gateway. Um, oh, it's because I changed it. Okay, let me use the exact name they gave us. There, let me see. That shouldn't be a problem now. Oh, let's see. VPC gateway attachments. This is what we have here. Or maybe it's because too much characters. Let me just reduce this to okay. Validate. Let's see. It's still too much. Attach internet.
Mm.
Let's see.
I thought it's just one of it was supposed to use.
You say?
I thought it's just one of it was supposed to use. I mean, we're just supposed to use that my internet gateway instead of this attach one of my internet gateway or this
So this
attach
is the
internet gateway.
internet gateway itself. We want to attach this internet gateway to the VPC. Look at the architecture
Sorry.
here. This is the
Can
internet
you
gateway.
please
It's attached on top of the VPC. I've seen the
can
problem.
you please go to
The
that
problem has to do with
documentation?
the problem has to do with the indentation. See, if you put this is how it's supposed to be.
Please go to the documentation.
You say?
The documentation.
Okay. Which of them?
The one where they said, okay, the following example uses VIP ID. I mean,
Is it this one?
yeah. So attaches an internet gateway or a vi- virtual private gateway to a VPC. So what's it saying we should do here? Like we should use one of these internet gateway
There's
or
a
the
difference. There's a
virtual private.
difference. There's a difference between an internet gateway and a virtual private gateway. A virtual private gateway is used for a VPN. It's different from an internet gateway. So if you go to the examples, you will see that the YAML file is showing you two things here. Attach the internet gateway. This is to attach the gateway. So that's why you see or there. You
Mm,
understand? So if you want to, you decide which of them. If you want both of them, you can use both of them. So we needed just one, and that's why I'm choosing the first one. Does it make sense?
yeah. Okay, go to the
All right.
CloudFormation. Attach gateway. Mm, attached gateway.
Okay, I think I've seen something we missed. There's something we have missed. We did not create a route because before we create this, apart from the route table, there's supposed to be a route. So VPC subnet, then there's a route. Remember when you want to do it from the GUI, you have edit routes apart from the route table. So we're supposed to create a route. So, but check it. I hope this is not confusing to anybody. Okay. So this is not supposed to be like this. This is supposed to be like 1, 2, 1, 2. You see that? So this like this. So why you've been wondering why it's properties and this VPC ID. So the thing is, if you watch other ones, if you watch here, so you can put this ones on that under these properties, or you can leave it separate. But these are also part of this information. So I can choose this two here and just press tab. You see that, right? So if we come to this place and choose this, choose this two, press tab, and click on validate. See, it says it's valid. See that? So we didn't do anything different. Okay, so from what we learned in the previous class, if you go to the canvas, you're going to see the resources it's creating for us. So you have a VPC, you have a subnet, you have a route table. You understand? But it needs a route to be able to associate the subnet to the VPC. Okay, so let's not forget that. So we just come here and say AWS CloudFormation and say route. Okay, route. Click on this. Okay. The route is different from the route table. See route table, see route here. Okay, it can be confusing, but please just understand this. Okay, so let's quickly create the route. So let's wait for it to come up. So the route is going to require the internet gateway. So that's why I'm doing it at a later time. Okay, so if you come here, click on examples. So if you watch here, you're going to see the routes, gateway to the internet. So the route is like the direction, the traffic, how the traffic is going to go. Is it from the internet gateway to where? You understand? So if you watch here, you see that the route says there's an extra thing here that says depends. It depends on what gateway to internet. You see, the route depends on the internet gateway. I hope this is not confusing anybody. Okay, so gateway to internet properties, route table ID. We'll put our route table. We've already created route table. Destination CIDR block. We put it, this is to the internet. Then the gateway ID. We put our internet gateway ID. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's come with this. So come here.
You will find me in your presence. It's an hour of yes. Represent worship.
Okay, you know what? Let me just be putting it here.
So sure.
Yeah, I'm listening, please. Go ahead.
Yeah, so the the route table ID. If we've not created it at all, like where do we get it from?
Route table ID.
That
So
route
we've
table ID,
created,
yeah.
you have to have created the route table now. That's why we specified the route table here. So at the end of this route table here, there will be an ID.
Yeah.
So that's why if we come down here, we now say you should reference the route table ID. You understand?
So
Line
is
52.
it that we'll go to the console?
No, you don't need to go to the console. Everything that runs here generates an ID. Do you understand?
Oh,
Do you get it?
okay,
Automatically
because
it
we're running it.
generates.
We're running it on the console.
Now, because CloudFormation does not show you the console, now you're using your experience of Terraform to explain this. You understand? But if you want to use your experience of Terraform, that's great. When you run it on Terraform on the console, you're going to notice that when you do Terraform plan, you're going to see a lot of things and you're going to see the ID of whatever you are creating. So it's the same thing with CloudFormation too. Behind the scene, you understand? It generates a plan. And in that plan, it generates every resource you see here has an ID. You understand? So the way we can reference it is with the help of with the ID. Do you understand? So if you hover your cursor on it, you can see ID of the route table for the routes. Does that make sense? Okay, so if we come here and click on validate, tells us so invalid, unresolved dependencies in the resource logs. So we're missing something. So let's go and fix that.
So when you create the template now, the is it CloudFormation or AWS knows that this route table ID, it will just assign a route table ID to
Yes.
the VPC.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
Now this can be very confusing, but let me not show you this. Okay, hold on. I need this to. So we want to. This depends on our internet gateway. So do you see? Depends on gateway to internet, but ours is called it depends on the internet gateway. What's the name of our internet gateway? We call it my internet gateway. So if you come down here, instead of gateway to the internet, we're going to change this and say my internet gateway. Did you see that? That's
Hello,
the
is it displaying in your site too? Because I can't see anything again. It's blank.
Is that the same for everybody? I know my network is poor, but I don't think it's so poor. Please check. Let me know. It's also, is it showing for you?
And yeah, it's blank. It's just showing black screen. Okay, but I think it's showing now.
It's okay now.
So sorry, guys. So sorry, please. The network. All right. So I'm sure you all understand everything that's here now. So if I click on validate, it says it's valid. No template validation errors. Okay. Any question from anybody? So we've been able to create the what is it called? The route. Now, of course, we can test it now to see what it's like. Do you understand? Ideally. But we want to be sure that everything is okay. Let's see.
So how about
So
the S3? The
let's
S3 bucket.
follow our architecture. We're going to create that. That's why it's not a problem. That was not a problem. We just want to be sure that everything is
All the resources is okay.
so. We've created the route table. We've created a subnet. We've created a VPC. We've created the internet. We've created the route. So let me just come here and put routes. Routes is like the direction. Can you see this thing that looks like direction? The route, you understand? Just the way the traffic, those dotted lines, you understand? It's like from this place to this place, from this place to this place. That's what this thing is all about. Okay. I hope you all don't get confused. Okay, that's what routes it's all about. It just tells you the direction. Okay, the direction in which the flow is going to occur. Okay, from here to here to here to here and so on. That's what routes does. Okay, so let's I want to believe that everybody understands what we've done so far. You understand? Okay, so let's see. Let's check what I have here. Okay, good. So we have destination block. We have our gateway ID. So again, remember, it's good to be consistent with this one is readable like this, but please don't forget that this approach and this approach is the same. You see that? So if you want to put it this way,
Sir
you can
Frederick,
still do the same thing.
I have a question.
Okay,
Hello,
please
good
hold
evening,
on.
sir.
I'm
All
coming.
right.
I'm coming. So you can easily just come here and do this and put the exclamation here. Then you can put this here and remove this. You see that? This is what we have here. So this works as well. So either you put it this way or you put it this way. Either of them is still going to work. You understand? So we can just do this. And you can do this. You can do this. This is better. Okay. So all of them have under the properties of this resource. Okay. For the rounds. Okay. So if you click on validate now, you should be able to get the valid status. Any question from anybody? So I think maybe the next thing we might want to do is I think we're supposed to attach somewhere. I think I remember something yet now. We're supposed to map for this you know, when you create a subnet, right? For it, we want to be able to create an IP. This subnet should map an IP once it launch an instance. So we can either do it from here, but we'll check the documentation. But go ahead. I don't know who wanted to ask a question. Someone wanted to ask a question.
Yeah, that was me.
Okay, Mr. Abdulwasir. Okay, go ahead, please. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. For this CloudFormation, is it, you know, for Terraform, there isn't a specific order for writing down the syntax for the resources, like the resources, this thing. We can just put it. So is it the same thing for CloudFormation? Or we have to follow the same way, like when we want to create it on GUI, we follow the
I
same
didn't get
pattern.
that.
I said the CloudFormation, does
didn't
it
get
work
that.
like the same way as Terraform? In such that can we write the
Yeah, it does.
resources,
Yeah, but
the resources column anyhow, and it will automatically like join it together?
what do you mean is in terms of the order, right?
Yes.
Is that what you're
Yes.
saying? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's what
So,
I'm saying.
but the most important thing is this: if you bring this one and put it at the top, Terraform knows how to read the code. You understand? Because definitely when you put
Yes.
this and you don't put the route table, it's going to ask you where you want it to be. You understand? So it's a logical thing. That was why I decided to sketch this so that it can give you a perception as to the flow. If you know the flow, it comes from the user. Okay. So if we had something like an AWS, what is it called? A CDN or Route 53, we have to create that one first before the VPC. You see that? So, but it's not a must, but logically, that's the flow. You understand? After it goes through the Route 53, it comes to the internet gateway, then it goes into the VPC. You understand? It follows the route to the route table, from the route again to the subnet and to the resource inside the subnet. You see that? So that mental picture that you have of the flow, that's what we are using to create it on the infrastructure as code. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, good. So now, friends,
Thank you.
I want you to understand something. What we've done right now, we created a route. Okay. Time is already flying. Oh my god. So what we've already created here is the route. we created a route. You understand? A route table for, if you watch here, where's the route table we created? So this route table we created, as you all can see, is the route table for the VPC. Do you know that subnets on our subnets also have route table? Do you all still remember? I want to believe you all still remember. If not, I
Yes,
can
sir.
go to the console and show you. Good. So VPC
Public,
has a route
public,
table.
and the private.
So VPC has route table. Subnets also have route table. Do you understand? So please don't forget it. So you may be thinking it's just one route table. So in this route table I did here, it's just for the VPC. That's what you can see here. You understand? So it comes by default. Any question from anybody? Okay, so what we're going to do right now is to simply come here and say AWS let's say subnet, sorry, AWS cloud formation subnet. Should we use it? Yeah, let's see. Let's see. Okay, good. We've already created the routes. Yeah, we've created a route, we've created a subnet. So in this case, it's a public subnet by default. We are not specifying what is. So we want to create the route table to associate it. So this is what we have here. You can read it. This associates a subnet with a route table. The subnet and route table must be in the same VPC. This association causes traffic originating from the subnet to be routed. Okay, blah, 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 blah. So to create a route table, this is what we use to create a route table. We've already done that. Okay, so click on examples to take you to the bottom. And this is what you have here. Okay, so route table ID, subnet ID. So we already have this. So we'll just come here and copy and come here. So go to the bottom. We come here and paste this. Okay, so we come here and do this. So we did not change the name of subnet and we did not change the name of route table. So that's why it's working. Let's see. The name of the route table is my route table. If you check line 25, line 25. If you check the name of the subnet, line 13, you see it's my subnet. So if you come here, that's exactly what I have here in 59 and 61. You see that? There's nothing nothing special there. Okay. Does anybody have a question? Are we good? So
Yes,
I
sir.
think let's click on that. So let's see. I think we are ready to create our resource inside. Let's, if this, okay, hold on first of all, so that we don't have to do this all afresh again. So let's do this and update what we have here and paste it inside here. You understand? Paste it inside here. So let's see. So now I think at this point we can create our S3. So we want to create our S3 bucket. So we can just come here and just put AWS CloudFormation, and we want S3. Okay. So we want an S3 bucket. So if you want to, you can even, I told you guys to try this. Remember the one we did with Terraform, the portfolio website. Okay, so everything you need is on this page. Okay, you can go to examples. So all the things, create an S3 bucket. You can create, give it public access. You can enable ACL. configure a static website with a routing rule. You see, the documentation is here. All you need to do is just click, read it, and try to edit it. You see, it's not so difficult. So this is the YAML file. Okay, so we'll just come here and click on this. All right, so let's come here and paste this. All right, let's see. S3 bucket. So you don't blame these people sometimes because the way their documentation is very, very funny. So if you watch here now, all the time we've been creating this type, you notice that there is no quotation in all of them. But watch for the S3. You notice there's a quote, line 65. There's a quote in it. You understand? So, but let's remove it and when we check the validate, we'll know if it works or not. You understand? So bucket name, this can be a bucket name. So you can just come here and say 20. Today's date is 26 dash 2025, just to make it unique. Do you understand? All right. So let's copy this. And okay. Okay, let's paste this. Okay. Yeah, let's see. All my pins are validate. Let's see. YAML not well formed. Line 63, column 4. Okay, let's see. Okay, it's the indentation. It's deceiving me. So I was thinking, so this is where it's supposed to be. Yeah. Right. Click on validate. Okay, no templating errors. We're good. So I told you the two ways we can do. Either we just go directly to this guy and click on create stack. Okay. If you reload this, there's no, so you can select this and just delete this stack here. Okay. So if you wait a little while, you see there's no stack here. So either you click on create stack and choose this one, click on upload templates and choose this particular one we have here, or we can just use from the composer that we already have here. You understand? So you click on this and then say create one. But we've already created one inside here when we clicked on what is it called? Yeah, when we clicked on this infrastructure composer, it opened this, and then we type all the things we need. All we need to do is just say create templates. You see that? And click on this. Okay. So we can click on this. Let's wait a little while. Okay, good. It's attached it. Okay, and I told you it saves that YAML file. It saves it in S3. If you see the name templates 1743, if you go and check S3 bucket, let's go and check. So if you right click this buckets, right click here and open. Let's check here. Let's see. So there was something I was supposed to attach. I said I was going to attach something. It is on in this case, we don't necessarily need an IP. You understand? We don't necessarily need an IP, but let me show you just in case you are working with EC2 instance, AWS CloudFormation, and you go to Subnet. You understand? Let me show you something so you can remember this. It's very important. You understand? Even though I didn't mention it, I didn't put it here. Few minutes, friends. Let's wait a little bit. Was it taking time? Friends, is it just me or the network is also affecting you guys where you are? Does it affect you guys in your own respective locations? Can you all hear me?
The network
Maybe I'm
is
the only
good.
person. Oh wow.
It has been
And I'm
fluctuating on
leaving
my
on
end.
time.
Okay. No, I'm not saying just
I have been
today.
switching between.
For me, it's
I've
been
been
happening
switching
for
between
more than
MTN
2
and
months
Glo.
now.
So
The network has been very, very horrible. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, between now and last 2 months, it has been very, very horrible. Okay, so let's this is where we came. So if you come here, right, you're going to see that for this subnet, these are all the properties that can come with it. Now, there's if you look here, can you see map public IP on launch? Can you see this column here? Map public IP on launch. Take note, because we're using S3 there, I may not need a public IP. Does that make sense? But if we were working with an EC2 instance, we wanted to create an EC2 instance in that subnet, we will need, if we don't enable this, so when we say Boolean, it means true or false. When we say integer, it's a number. String is a text. Okay, I'm sure you all know this. I explained it before. So if you click on properties, you can see more of them. You understand? It tells you what each one of them is. Okay. So it's very, very important you understand that what is it called? That IP mapping of IP address. Okay, in case you need to do something very important. Okay, so let's move on. No. So in the S3 bucket, if you watch here, so check the date. Today's date is 26. If you refresh this, you're going to see it's going to create, it's already created an S3 bucket. Okay, let's see. It's loading. This is 24th. Hold on, let me see. So the name of this is, the name of the bucket is CF templates dash 15 NJA. So 56, let's see. Okay, it's this one then. So this template this bucket has been created before. I guess it's just adding more information there. You understand? So this was just the date when he created it. You understand? But the most important thing is that it's putting something inside this particular template, which is the content of the YAML file that we created inside our infrastructure composer. I hope you all understand. If you click on edit, you can go and edit it. When we are done, we click on next. The only thing I've not touched so far, which is very important, is called parameters. Okay, but we'll touch on drifting and then we'll just wrap it up on this. Maybe in the future, as we do things on CI/CD, we'll know how to integrate this. So I'll just come here and say VPC network stack. I don't know if you let's see, stack name must contain only letters and hyphens and start with, okay, it works with that. I'll click on next. Okay, good. So scroll and click on next. All right. So we'll click on submit. All right, good. So let's wait and see how things unfold. All right. Let's see how things unfold. You can click on refresh. Oh my God, how come we're getting failure now again? Okay, let's see. Go to resources and see. So it's created the VPC, created the internet gateway. It skipped this one. Hold on. Let's see what's going on. There's no complete information as to why it failed. Reload this. I hope it's not my account that's giving all these funny errors. Because okay, let's go confirm something. I'll come here and click on refresh. Let's see. Okay, it hasn't created the buckets yet. So let's come here and type VPCs. Your VPCs. Okay, it hasn't. I guess the rollback removed it then. Okay, so this is what I'll quickly do. I know what's wrong with this. I mean, I have to share this code with somebody to check it. And let's see. Let me see. This is S3 broadcast type S3 deletion policy retain. You know what? Let me remove this one. Hold on. Oh, I think I see the problem. I don't know whether it's this resources I added here. But let me see. I can't really tell until I go and check the. Let me see. Let me see. No. Let me let's see. So you will find me. So let's create it from this existing one, or we can upload our own existing one, which is this one. So let's remove this. Okay, good. Okay, so open this file, using File Explorer. Okay. No one's like you. Let me see. No. Okay, it wants me to identify. I don't have those resources. It has not created it. Sample. I may have to create this afresh again, but let's just see if it's going to import the same one I already have there with this same information. There was this change set. I knew it was going to give me that error. That's fine. I'll select the and click delete it. Choose existing template, upload, choose file, select this. Okay, we can view it. Let's see. Okay, the VPC, my subnet, my subnet, okay. Everything's okay. So let me show you guys something. If you look closely, you notice that every time we create it, it does what we call roll back the stack to the last known stable state. Now, most people prefer this one, but if you see this one, it says preserve successfully provisioned resources. So it will leave the one that has been created successfully. You understand? And the one that failed, it will just tell you it failed. Do you understand? But it will not roll back to any failed state. The reason why we use this rollback is in case if you want to update, maybe you you have 3 instances and you wanted to create 2 instances. You wanted to create 4 instances, and maybe the YAML file you are bringing to create that fourth one was messed up. So rather than deleting all the resources, right, it will roll back to the last previous state, which is the 3 instances that is working fine. You see that? So that's the reason why we use. So this is stack failure options. You will be the one to decide. You understand? Delete newly created resources during a rollback. You understand? So you can delete all newly created. This way you can say use deletion policy, depending on the policy that's attached to the document. Okay, so let's come here and click on next. Let's see. Look how you carry me. Look how you save for me. Look how you lifted me. Look how you told your boy. Okay. 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 All right. So from our indication, it's done. It's complete. So as you all can see, this is create complete, create complete, create complete. So it's created everything completely here. Can you all see this? So this is how we were able to create the resources. And this is everything that we have here. You understand? Is do we all understand? So if you look closely, this is the resources. So if you want to create an S3 bucket, so this is what we are going to do now. We want to create an S3 bucket, so to attach it inside this network. Because if you check this VPCs now and refresh here, you should be able to see the VPC here. This is the third one. And if you check here, you're going to see let's check. Hold on. I didn't give it a tag. That's another thing. Let's see. If you come here. Okay, I gave it a tag. So the VPC this is 10/16 environment development. So /16, it should be the second one. But if you select it, click on tags. See it here. See? So this is the one we created. You understand? So if you click on the flow logs, you see or the resource map, you see how it looks like. This is what we created. This VPC has 1 subnet and 2 route tables. You understand? So that's the VPC route table and the subnet route table with our internet gateway. You understand? All right. So if we want to put an EC2, okay, so this is what I'm going to do to explain something called drift. Because in the real world, the way it works is this. If you use CloudFormation to create everything and you are done, ideally, what you expect to do is just to come here and click on delete. It's going to delete this stack and delete all the resources that it's created. But in most cases, maybe you wanted to just update it. Okay, you want to create an S3 and then update it. So if I come here and let's click on this AWS CloudFormation S3. So if we come here, or let's use an EC2 instance. Let's see, EC2. Okay, EC2 instance. The only thing is that this EC2 instance, I hope it doesn't start. Anyway, we can put I don't start creating security group again because of time. So, but so far, any questions? Any questions? Please, guys, let me know. Any questions so far from what we've done? Do you have any question so far? So if I click on examples, it's going to take me to this. And you're going to see the YAML file. You understand? So we can put an image ID. We can put a key name. You see that? And I think that's the basic thing we need here. So if I click on this, now, but see the beautiful thing I can do. I can use this way to create the EC2 instance. But what I want to show you guys is something we do in the real world. If for any reason you go and change it, you understand? You know, you went and do something inside from the GUI that is not available in this code. That's what we call a drift. You understand? So let's say for some reason you what do I do now? Okay, let's see if I can create do I create an EC2 instance in the subnet? Okay, let's see if it's going to give us what we want. So I'll do EC2 and click on this. So the EC2 instance we are going to create, it's going to be inside. So I'm just going to come here and say server. Okay. So I'm going to do everything inside here, but remember it should be on the same so everything will leave everything the way it is. I'm not going to touch anything. So okay, let me just use a key pair in case. Not necessarily for anything, but cloud sec key. So I'll just come down. Nothing special, just leave it the way it is. The most important thing here is this networking. Is using the default VPC. But if I click on edit and say, no, I want this to be inside my own VPC that I just created. So if I choose the second one, /16, can you see? It's inside my own public subnet there. Now you see the problem with this one. Can you see that it said auto assign public IP disabled? We did not put that map public IP address I told you of. So I'm going to come here and say enable. You understand? Now, yeah, I think this is good. And yeah, we're good. So I'll click on launch. Oh, yes. Okay, good. So we've created this instance. We select here. Okay, good. So we have the instance, and the instance is running very fine. That's to show you that the VPC. Now, but I'm going to come back to CloudFormation, right? Now, at this point, if you click on stack actions, did you see detect drift? Can we see detect drift? If I click on detect drift, it's going to check and tell you, so it's initiated, okay? It's initiated. It will tell you if there's any drift between what you have in your, what is it called? In your management console compared to what you have in your IAC code. That's the expected versus the actual. You understand? All right. So it's still detecting to check if there's any changes. It's going to let you know. Let's wait a little while. Let's wait some more. It's not enough time. Oh, I really wish there was a lot of things. So can you see it's refreshing? It's refreshing. It's just checking the whole thing. Which means we might not be able to do our introduction to DevOps, just explaining some things about DevOps that you all need to just have some perception so that when we get into the CI/CD stuff on AWS, it will make sense to you. This is taking time. Okay. So when it's done, you will know. Do you understand? So when it's done, what you need to do is to click here and say view drift results. You understand? Aha. So if I click on view drift results, okay, I think that's giving us an output. Say view drift status is in sync. You understand? Now, from my understanding, right? That's what is it called? That EC2 instance we created is just something different, not necessarily what is it called? Ideally, I expect it to tell us that there was a drift. Okay, if there was a drift, you see it will tell you something here. It could be, it will tell you it has drifted, or it will tell you something like in sync, like this. Do you understand? So now, if it has drifted, all you need to do is going to show you two different information: expected versus what is it called? Actual. You understand? And I ask you to choose which one to fix up the issue. You understand? So, but this is the resources that we have here. Okay. So, but let me see. I guess I'm trying to think of what I can do to um okay, yeah, if it was an EC2 instance, I created it. Okay, I'll allow you guys to go and practice it. See what you should do. Just create an EC2 instance here. When you create the EC2 instance, right, in that VPC, please, what I want you to do is this. After you've used CloudFormation to create the VPC, right? Please, I encourage you to go to what is it called? Go to your console and stop the VPC instance or delete the VPC instance. You understand? If you know that you stopped or deleted it on the console, but according to this document, the VPC, the what is it called? The stack, everything is up and running. You understand? So it will show you that the drift has shifted. You understand? So all you need to do is just to fix it. Okay. So once you just tell it shows you what it is, it will just give you what to do, and once you click on it, it will just generate the value for you and you'll be fine. Okay. So once you tell it you want to effect the expected against the actual one. The actual one is what you see on the console, but the expected is what you have on your IAC file here. Please, do we understand? Friends, this is how, what is it called? This is how CloudFormation works. You understand? So if we work with stacks like this, there are a lot of things you can do. You understand? So, but we're going to keep it very, very simple. Okay. Does anybody have a question so far? Okay. So anytime you want to change something there, you can just click on this update. You see that? So you can replace something or you can go and edit it. You understand? So, and when you are done, it will update that existing stack that you have there. So in the future, we'll be creating some resources and I will just use CloudFormation or I'll use Terraform to spin up the resources very, very fast. Okay. So please, let's take note of all these things. Okay. Any question from anybody? I think this is a good place where we're going to stop for today. Any question? Any question from anybody? I know why some of you could be quiet because you've not been able to practice it yet. Okay, please create your time, create the time, and when you are able to practice, if you have any question or challenge, please do reach out. Okay, remember, I'm putting together a lot of tasks and a lot of projects. Okay, so I don't want to bring them now because if I start putting them together, you guys might not be able to flow with the pace of the video again. You will feel like you have a lot of backlogs. Okay, so I'll just keep putting them together, and when it's time, we'll release all of them so that you all can use it to be practicing and build your portfolio. Okay. All right, guys, this is where we're going to stop for today's session. I really hope that you've learned a ton, but please, I'm going to show you how to delete the stack. It's very simple. Just click on this, always delete. Okay, anytime you create something, always delete, because if I leave these things now, it's going to be charging, you understand? So if I have any extra resources they are running, so it's better I just come here and just click on delete and click on delete. Okay, so it's going to delete this, what is it called? So it's deleting it. Okay, it's deleting it. And if you click on stack details, you can click and you'll see that it's deleting the resources there. It has deleted some of them. You understand? If you click on refresh, you're going to see that it's in progress. Delete is in progress. And when it's done, it's going to delete everything. Delete is still in progress. Ignore this. Okay. Once you just click on it, it's fine. You can always go and check the drift results from here. Okay. Okay. So let's click on this again to see if it's done. Okay. Still deleting it. Please, anytime you create resources, delete them. Even if it's in Terraform, make sure you delete the resources. Terraform destroy. It's very important. Okay. All right, friends. Now we've learned how to do that. We're going to stop recording. And if you have any question, please, my DMs are open. The group channel is open. Please join.